Hello. This is a quick video to update you guys on what is happening with the Idaho state tax withholdings. There was a change mid year, so in June of 2018, that is only now being implemented here at our school. We decided to roll these changes out after the first payroll so that we could have an appropriate amount of time to understand them ourselves and to be able to communicate them to you. Plus, Idaho was continuing to update their information over the summer months, and we are now at a place where they seem to have landed and aren't moving any further. So it is time to share those changes with you. Up until this point, we have not implemented the changes, and our withholdings have been at the older, higher rate of withholding, meaning up until this point, the concern wouldn't be that you would owe anything to the state of Idaho. If anything, you could possibly have been paying a bit more than what the changes would mean. But actually, the big concern with these changes is that employers will not be withholding enough. And I'll explain why that is actually the big concern. Um, the first thing that you need to know about the changes is in the past, when you have recorded your deductions or withholdings on your W 4, you have been saying that these are the amount of people that I believe I can deduct on my income tax in my home. For the state of Idaho, they have instituted a child tax credit. And now, when you put that number for your Idaho tax withholdings, you are telling the state that these are the number of children under 17 living in my house. So, if you previously always put four withholdings because that was the amount that ended up where you didn't owe anything to Idaho and they didn't owe you anything and it was a break even point, that might not necessarily be true anymore because what they're going to do is take that withholding number, and since you're paid monthly, they would multiply it by 246.67, which is the Idaho child tax credit allowance for those paid monthly. And they would take that 4 and multiply it times 246.67. And in this situation, 246.67 times 4 is 986.68. Now, say you make $1,000 a month, they would take that 986.68 and subtract it from that $1,000 and say, okay, you are only going to be taxed on $13.32. As far as the state of Idaho is concerned, you were paid $13.32 in this month, and you only owe tax for that amount of money. So it could end up that you are paying tax throughout the year on much less income than you're actually making. And when you go to settle up at tax time, you could end up with a bill from the state of Idaho and owe money. Now, if you are in the situation where um, you're unconcerned with the possibility of owing money to the state of Idaho and you are happy with your withholdings as they are, um, then you don't have to do anything at all. Um, the state of Idaho has issued a worksheet that they're recommending for people to do. Among their recommendations, they're saying, if you are married and filing jointly and both people work or have multiple jobs, they want you to withhold as married, but withhold at the higher single rate. So that's their recommendation. They also have a worksheet, and it gives you the circumstances under which you would complete Part A, Part B, or Part C. And the worksheet is as follows. I will give you guys a link to this worksheet. And you can read these instructions for yourself on how to determine this stuff. You do not have to turn in this worksheet to me, but you are going to need, if you are making changes, to turn in a new W-4 to me, which I will also have been linked to here at the teacher website. That tax worksheet is here, your new W-4 is here, and for those of you that might be interested, there is a 58-page guide to Idaho income tax withholding if you want answers to those deeper questions. I know that the rates for withholding in Idaho have changed, as well as the way they are calculating your withholdings on your paychecks. So the W-4, the way they want that filled out now, since Idaho does not have its own specific W-4, they want you to start using a slash. So for your federal withholding, you would put that first. So federal's on the left, then a slash, and the number of withholdings for Idaho go on the right. In blank 6, not too many people use this. This is if you want additional money withheld from your paycheck. Uh, you would put the amount you want withheld from federal on the left, and then a slash, and the amount you want withheld from Idaho on the right. If you want nothing additional withheld from your paychecks in line 6, just put a line through it, or you could put 0/0. So, to my knowledge, the way you do it, your withholdings on the federal side have not changed significantly, but the way that you do the Idaho withholdings, the way they're calculating those on your paycheck have changed. And the fear is that you will accidentally take more home every month and end up owing money to the state of Idaho. So they have instituted these worksheets and instruction guides on how to prevent owing money to the state of Idaho. Those of you that would rather pay the state at the end of the year and continue to get as much money as possible month to month, then this may not concern you at all, and you don't have to give me a new W-4 if you don't want to, and you can keep doing everything you've been doing. Those of you that want to make a distinction between your federal and your state withholdings and are concerned about getting more money in your paycheck, I know that sounds ironic, but if you are concerned about getting more money each month and don't want to have to pay Idaho come tax time, then use this worksheet, read the instructions, and fill out a new W-4 to turn in to me. Again, I don't need the worksheet, I just need the new W-4. And if you have questions or would like for me to help with the worksheet or answer any questions, just shoot me an email or you can call my extension 323. We can make an appointment to talk face to face. And you have until September 22nd to get this new W-4 turned in. Again, you have from now until September 22nd to turn in your new W-4. And on the next paycheck that you'll be getting at the end of September, we will be using the new Idaho withholding calculations on the paycheck. So you might, if you do nothing, you could see a rise in your paycheck, but keep in mind, you could also see a bill come tax day. If you have any questions, feel free to call me. Thank you.